Welcome everyone. I hope you're doing really well today. This is Tracy Brown, your somatic nutrition therapist and attuned eating expert. And we're going to talk about food rules this week. And it's kind of a big topic because most of the time when we're first starting this work, we don't even know we have food rules. There's a little bit of a learning curve that we have to go through to recognize what is truly eating for well-being. How are we using our nutrition? Are we using it as a weapon against ourselves or even defending against others? Or are we really just using these rules as a mental strategy to feel less bad about something? So I'm going to just kind of run down a little list today and see if you are experiencing any of these reasons why we have food rules. In later videos, we're going to talk a little bit about how to challenge those. And I think that's really important too. So we're going to talk to you about food rules, how we might be using nutrition maybe against ourselves when we think that we're doing it for ourselves. And of course, what are some ways to challenge these food rules? So we'll be talking more about that in the future videos this week. So let's get started. I'm going to list some things that maybe y'all haven't thought about. I really try to, like, when we talk about food rules, I'm really listening for the function of them. All right. So a lot of people will tell me, well, I have these rules about certain foods or food groups because isn't that healthy, right? And, we'll unpack that and look at the incongruence with how they're using their food. Are they actually eating well? And oftentimes it has nothing to do with nutrition, because really, if we're getting good nutrition, we're actually getting adequacy. So you have to have caloric adequacy, meaning you have to eat enough food to actually have a chance to get enough nutrition in. I have one of the most striking things I see in the first one-on-one appointment with my clients is that I look at their food and people are like, I'm really eating healthy. And the healthy day is usually the day that's causing the binge eating. There's these beliefs about like what is healthy, and really it's about managing weight. That's the reason that people are typically eating in a certain way. And so I'll look at the food and it's like your healthy days are the ones that are causing a lot of the out of control behavior that you're feeling. All right. So when we go deeper into that, what we find is that it gets really deep here, so hang on, is that people use food rules as a protection and as a code to live by. And I know that sounds really kind of out there, but food rules are oftentimes, if I just do this thing, then I'll be okay. So if I just don't eat the food after 7 p.m., or if I just don't eat the carbs, only eat X minus Z amount of carbs per day, then I'll be okay. So what I'm hearing here as a defense strategy, it really doesn't have anything to do with nutrition. We might put it in, try to kind of get ourselves to think that's what it's really about, but it's not, okay? Another reason I see people have food rules is because it's a framework. It's almost like this container to contain some of the inner chaos. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I don't know if these feelings inside me are safe or good or normal or right or not. So I'll use food to tell me how I'm supposed to feel. It's like an anchor. Okay, if I eat this food, then I'll feel a certain way because culture said that this food is good and this food is bad, or this diet said this food is good and this food is bad. And so I'm trying to tame a lot of my inner feeling affect bigness, basically, to try to feel better. That's all it's for, okay? Another reason my clients tend to have food rules is a need for identity. Like, I don't really know who I am unless somebody tells me I'm good based on maybe what I look like or how I'm eating or how my movement routine is. It's like I don't have enough internal sense of self to know if I'm good or bad. So I'll do this thing and see if that works. And that's a big one. There's also sometimes this need for, just feeling validated. Like, okay, I'm doing it right. I'm okay because they said I'm doing my food right, which is, again, it's a faux window for feeling like that we belong, that we're safe, all those things, right? And of course, sometimes people just have food rules because they think that because some other practitioner or some magazine or something they read or saw or heard says that this is a good food or a bad food. And so they're just trying to help themselves. But typically when we start to really look at how oftentimes what they're seeing is cherry-picked information, but it's almost always certainly information out of context, right? That you should eliminate X, Y, Z, XYZ food group to manage your health condition, it's kind of taken out of context in a very all or nothing mentality. So it never really is sustainable or practical. It's just kind of a drive-by recommendation. So we take that as fact when really it's just a meme or it's just there to get headlines. So there's all these different reasons why we have food rules. So if you're just watching this as a replay, put below. I'd love to hear replay and if I missed a food rule. I know there's lots and lots and lots of reasons we have food rules, but it's really about managing how we can feel lovable and belong and feel safe, whether that's with our bodies, with our health, whatever. So if any of this sounded familiar to you below, I'd love for you to just put like a thumbs up that like, oh yeah, all that sounds familiar. Because in future videos this week, we're going to talk a lot more about, okay, so what do I do with all this now that I maybe know a little bit more of the function? We still have to go deeper because if you don't have an alternative to these rules that have a function, you won't let them go, right? It won't feel safe enough to do that. So we got to work on that too. So if you like this video, please let me know. If this was something that felt really valuable to you, please also share with your friends. I'm going to put another link below here if you want more specific help with kind of decoding your own food rules. I'm happy to do that as well, and how to challenge your food rules. We'll work on that as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the rest of the week in the videos. Take care and bye for now.